It is currently storming where I live, so if you hear thunder in the background, that is why. And I am huddled up next to the windows to try and get as much light as I can while I film. This is an Ask Kate video. This is the first one I filmed, so I'm excited about doing this. These were inspired by Essie Button, and she is a beauty vlogger, which is a video blogger slang term. She spends most of her time making YouTube videos, but every once in a while she'll write a blog post on her blog as well. And I discovered her over a year ago, I think. I can't remember why. I think I just stumbled across her and was like, she's really likable and funny. And she is a Canadian that lives in the UK, in London. And just a fun personality to watch, and I like watching her makeup reviews and stuff like that. Anyway, she does these Ask Essie videos maybe once a month. I'm not even sure of the frequency, but I always enjoy watching those. I love watching her beauty stuff, but I love getting to know her a little bit through the Ask Essie videos, so I was like, what the heck? I'll see if anyone is even remotely interested in an Ask Kate video. So I tweeted about it and put it on Facebook, and I got a couple questions back that were sort of interesting, so I'm going to answer those. So this is not a hair Q&A video. This is just random crap about my life. So if that sounds boring, there are lots of other videos that might be more interesting to you on my YouTube channel, but nonetheless, let's get into it. Okay, so to keep this video from being super long, I limited the questions. So if your question didn't get picked, I'm sorry. I'll try and grab it for another one. Let's start with cats, because that's my favorite thing. Jennifer Clark said, I love your cats. What is their story? How did you get them? Come up with their names, their personalities. So, okay, this could be a 20-minute video in and of itself. So, I grew up with cats and dogs, mostly cats. And Justin grew up with he had two dogs in his life. They were both primarily outdoor. Where he lived in Virginia, it was just more common to have outdoor animals. I always grew up with indoor animals, although our cats and our dogs were indoor-outdoor. But Justin's dogs were almost never allowed inside just because the weather was fine and they just lived outside. And then I think his sister had a cat at one point, but he was more of a dog person. Not a big animal person in general, but more of a dog person. I never really defined myself as anything. I just liked both cats and dogs, and I've always had a soft spot for animals in general. My whole family has. We just kind of love animals. And so Justin and I got married in 2009, and 3 months after we were married, we moved to Raleigh. And I had a business doing hair in Greenville, where I moved from, and then I needed to start that over in Raleigh. So when you start over your own business, it's slow going at the beginning, so I was bored out of my mind. So I remember always having a puzzle going on the kitchen table, so I would be, you know, doing hair for a couple hours during the day, and then I'd go home and work on my puzzle like a grandmother. And one rainy Friday night, we were bored and we're like, let's go look at the animals at PetSmart. Really, there's no other interesting story about that. It was just raining. So we went in PetSmart, and they had cats up for adoption, and there was this one cat. What was her name? Oh, it was a sassy name. I can't remember, but she was a little bit feisty, and I was like, oh, she's feisty. And that was kind of what started me thinking about, like, we should get a cat. I mean, cats are easy, and then I could have like a companion, you know, when I'm home all day. And so he was like, no, I don't think so. And I'm like, no, really, cats are awesome. Let's get a cat. So I was actually, at this time when I was working in Raleigh, I would drive back to Greenville every Saturday and do a monster full day at my old studio to try and get in like as many clients as I could to sort of make up for the lost income of moving to Raleigh. So I would drive back to Greenville on Saturday, and when I was doing it this Saturday after the PetSmart night, I was like, man, we should get a cat. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't. We don't travel all that much. Like, we're home enough, and with cats, it doesn't even really matter. So I drive home on Saturday after a long day of work and decide, like, yeah, we need to get a cat, and talk to Justin about it. And I'm like, let's do this. It'll be fun. And he went for it. So we went back to PetSmart that Sunday, and as I'm telling the story, Gravy is licking my fingers because he's the licker between the two. Anyway, we go back to PetSmart, and there's new cats available. There's another adoption event happening, and the adoption event was hosted by Alley Cats and Angels. And there was this sweet little cat, what was her name? Justina, And she was a little kitten and really kind of feisty and playful, and Justin was playing with the wand and he's like, I like her because she'll play, and he didn't want a cat that would just lay all day. So we picked out Justina and renamed her Biscuit. Brought her home, and she was like crazy right from the get-go, flying around the house, and we made a little nook for her litter box and her food and all that stuff. And she was just our little baby. Like, we took, I don't know, just a stupid amount of pictures of her on our cell phones, and we just loved her. And she was really kind of, she was a little bit feisty, but she would snuggle. She loved Justin, and she would snuggle with him for hours, and all I wanted was for her to lay in my lap, and she never would. So she was more his baby. So we got Biscuit in August, I think it was, of 2009. And then we were like, Biscuit's lonely. And so we went back to PetSmart when Alley Cats and Angels was having another adoption event, and we picked out Gravy. He was sleeping in a cubby, and I went in, picked him up, and put him on my lap, and he kept sleeping, and I'm like, finally, a snuggly cat. Well, let's get him. And so his name was originally Isaac. So we renamed him Gravy because Biscuit, Gravy, obviously. And he was just a total lover. And after the initial getting to know you stage between Biscuit and Gravy, they became like the sweetest cat friends in the world. I don't know if they were boyfriend, girlfriend, or brother and sister, how they interpreted their relationship, but they snuggled all day, and it was so cute. So about a year passes, and Biscuit was looking super bloated one day, and so I took her to the vet, and as it turns out, she had FIP, which is feline infectious peritonitis, and it is a fatal condition, which was heartbreaking. She was just a year and a half old, and some kittens get it from their mother, some kittens get it just being out in the wild, and so these were all rescue kittens. And so we had to put her down the next month because she was starting to get really ill, and it was affecting her life. So we know it was kind of the right decision for her. She was just laying under the bed all day, and she wasn't eating. Anyway, it was devastating. It took me a long time to get over that, if I'm being honest. Like, I cried myself to sleep for 3 to 4 weeks. I loved her. And then it was so sad to see Gravy by himself because he was used to his best friend. So Biscuit passed away in December of 2010. I think I'm getting this right. And then we wanted to get another cat for Gravy, and we just liked having two because we were gone all day at this point, and Gravy was all lonely. So we went and picked out Grits, and Grits as a tiny kitten was like this little cute puffball, and that's when we met him, and I'm like, oh, he's cute. And Justin really wanted a Siamese cat, and Grits is part Flame Point Siamese. These are all mixes because they just come from the wild. But when we actually got Grits, he was a little bit older, and he looked like a rat. He was not a cute kitten, and I was like, oh my gosh, what were we thinking? And he had really strong Siamese features because he was skinny and little, and so we took him home, and he didn't stop running around for like 2 weeks, and Gravy was like, what? Because it was 2 males, and so it was a little bit different than the Biscuit Gravy relationship because she was a girl. And so at one point, honestly, I thought about returning Grits. I'm like, no, we have to take him back. He does not fit in here. Gravy's gonna freak out. We need to pick a different one. And Justin was like, just he'll calm down, it'll be fine. And now Grits is like literally attached to my side, so it's really sweet. So anyway, Grits and Gravy now, I wouldn't say are friends. They tolerate each other. They don't hate each other. They'll wrestle and play. Grits is an instigator, and Gravy just wants to lounge all day. So their personalities are pretty different, but I think they like having each other around. I think Gravy would be really lonely without Grits. I think if Grits started out as a one cat situation, he would be fine. But I've always wondered what it would be like to bring in another kitten, maybe female, and see what Grits does, if he like plays with her a bunch or will still like kind of pester Gravy a little bit. So that is a story of how we got them. That was lengthy, and that's sort of their personalities. I think that was all that she asked about them. And Biscuit was our first cat. I think Justin came up with that name, and so Gravy just went together with that, and Gravy was gray, so Biscuit and Gravy was born, and then Biscuit died. And then with Gravy, we wanted to not be like Gravy and Lloyd, you know, like a random name. So we went with Grits, and it took a while for that one to stick. It took a while for Gravy to stick as well. But now it's just kind of perfect. It fits his personality perfectly. Okay, my my last cat question is, I bet I have 2 viewers left of this this video, is if you were a cat, what would you look like and how would you spend your time? So I would be light gray because I love the color gray and I love light gray. I think I'd be long hair. Light gray long hair cat. Maybe, ooh, do light gray cats have blue eyes? I don't know. Blue or green eyes maybe. And I would like, you know what? I would like to be an indoor-outdoor cat. Our cats are indoor only because I'm paranoid about them getting hit by vehicles. But we have some indoor-outdoor cats that live in the neighborhood and they just have the life. They just lounge in the grass, and I'm sure our cats would be fine, but I'm not willing to take the risk. So if I was an indoor-outdoor cat, I would know not to go in the street and all that stuff. So I'd probably spend my time, you know, indoors and outdoors, lounging in the sun, eating. And that's about all. I think that would top it off. Okay, Amy Lewis asked, do you plan on having more kids? And there were a couple other questions regarding expanding our family on the Facebook page. And yes, we would love to have more kids. We haven't decided on the number. Justin has 1 sister and I have an older brother and younger sister. And so 2 sounds good to him and 3 sounds good to me. So we're just gonna have to see. But yes, we would love to have more kids. Janelle asks, what is your ideal date night with Justin? So since it's summertime, I think my ideal date night would be going to an outdoor movie at the art museum. I love doing that. Justin does not love doing that. So if he ever came to me and was like, hey, I got a babysitter, you want to go to an outdoor movie? I would know, like, he really loves me. Because it's hot here and he's hot 100% of the time, and so to lay on the grass, which is usually uncomfortable, and watch sort of usually an indie type of film outside with the mosquitoes is not his idea of a great time. It is my idea of a great time. So it would be going to an outdoor movie. Probably, I mean, ideal date would be going to get steaks beforehand because I love steaks and baked potatoes. Firebirds is the delicious restaurant where I live, and they have a mean peppercorn steak, so I'd get that. So super nice fancy dinner and then a outdoor summer movie sounds fun to me. Okay, this was a fun question. Lisa asks, what is number 1 on your bucket list, both professionally and personally? So professionally, professionally as far as blogging goes, since that is my only job right now, this is never gonna happen. I would love to have like a custom shade of lipstick available for sale. I don't even know what it would be, but I think that would be fun. So I'll put that on my bucket list. It's never gonna happen, but that would be fun. Personally, the first thing that's coming to mind is I'd love to do another sprint triathlon. It is challenging to find time to work out with a baby. Perhaps when I'm like 38, I might have a minute to start swimming again. Haley asks, were you always hair inclined or did you really have to learn it, work at it? I would say I was always inclined. I always just liked it. I've had to learn to better my skills over the years, absolutely. My first haircuts on mannequin heads, thank the Lord, were beginner. They were not wonderful, but I learned, and that's the beauty of cosmetology schools, you learn how to be better at that. So I was always inclined to be interested in it, and I cared about it, and it kind of understanding how to work with it and especially manipulate it with updos and styles just kind of came natural to me, which made it really fun. And then a question that kind of bounced off of that as far as hair stuff goes is Sarah asks, how long did you have your salon before it closed? Was it a hard decision to close? So I have only ever worked professionally behind the chair as a business owner. So I was in college, I went to beauty school in high school, I was in college, and then I started working when I was in Greenville, sort of finishing up college part-time, and I started working behind the chair 3/4 time, I'd say, as an independent business owner. I was a booth renter, so it was a big open salon, but I rented my little space, so I'd write them a check every week for rent, and I was in charge of managing all of the income and buying products and setting my prices, and it was all me. I was my own receptionist. I washed all the hair, and so it was like just me. And that's the only way I did hair professionally. I never worked for a commission salon, and I loved loved that I could do it all on my own. I loved being in control of everything and choosing what I wore and choosing the music and choosing sort of how the environment felt that my clients could come into, and eventually I moved to a private room. So I did hair professionally since 2007. Before that, I was still a licensed hairstylist, but I wasn't working behind the chair in a regular schedule. So I loved that I could be in control of everything and have my own business. And was it a hard decision to close? It wasn't. I think I always hoped to be able to be a stay-at-home mom. I knew that depended greatly on my husband's income. And since that was looking like it was a possibility when I was pregnant, I was excited about it. And so I haven't yet missed doing hair. I'll do my mom and sister's hair. So I'm still doing it, and I'm still making tutorials for the site, so I don't feel like I'm totally out of it. But I don't regret the decision to close, to stay home with David. I love staying home with him. I'm curious about what it'll be like when he or any future children are in school and I have maybe some time during the day. I don't know what else I'll be involved in at that point, but I'd be interested if I start to feel like, now I have time and they're occupied from 7 to 3. Maybe I could work at a salon. So the beauty of it is it's a really flexible career, and I could kind of jump back into it if I wanted to. So it wasn't a hard decision to close because I knew that was the direction I wanted to go. Whitney asks, I love the hashtag Ask Essie videos, me too. Here's my question. How often do people recognize you? Do you ever see people spying on you around the end caps at Target? Did you do this to me, Whitney? I'm trying to decide if it's really you. So I go through times that I'm recognized more often than other times. I just was at the mall with Justin and David on Friday night, and someone tweeted at me later and was like, I saw you at the mall, but I didn't want to bother you. It is never a bother. So let this be a message. If you see me around, say hi, because I'm just here by myself putting content out there, and I hear from readers and you guys on the internet, but I would love to meet you in person. So I always hate when people are like, I didn't say hey kids, I didn't want to bother you. It's never a bother, ever. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Please say hello. So I don't know how much I get recognized, maybe a couple times a week. It totally depends on how much I'm out. And I've loved meeting people, and there's just been the most random stories of running into people like at the airport. I met this girl at a baggage claim once, and she's like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And so, because she knew I lived in Raleigh and she lived in Raleigh. Anyway, so that's been funny. But one of the sweetest moments was Justin and I were at a Christmas concert over this past Christmas. I was still very pregnant, and the sweetest lady that was sitting behind us reached forward. She was, gosh, I don't know, in her 70s maybe, and she's like, I just need to tell you, I love your blog. I can't wait for your son to be born. I follow along every day. And I was like, oh my gosh, it meant the world to me, because I don't imagine that age group reading my site. So that was really sweet. So I can't really tell you how often I'm recognized, but I love meeting my readers, and yeah, maybe a couple times a week or something. But it's always funny to be, I was recognized in New York, so that was cool. So it's funny when I'm different places, people will be like, what are you doing? You don't live here. And yeah, so that's that answer. Katie asks, eat out or cook? Dresses or pants? Lipstick or lip gloss? Laundry or dishes? Ocean or pool? You know, I like to cook, but these days eating out sounds way more appealing. We don't eat out very much, but eating out is a treat. Dresses or pants? Dresses. Not a question. Lipstick or lip gloss? Probably lipstick, just because I can't with the hair sticking to the gloss. Laundry or dishes? As in, what's worse? What here? Would I rather do laundry or dishes? I would much rather do laundry. Much. And by laundry, I mean put a damp washcloth back in the dryer and hit de-wrinkle. Because I'm bad at laundry. Ocean or pool? Oh, pool. I'm not a beach person at all. Neither is Justin. I don't know if it's the sand or what, but I'd be happy never going to the beach again for the rest of my life. I don't hate the beach, I just don't really care about it. So pool sounds good to me. I prefer like the mountains. So, oh, this is a good segue. The last question is Jenna asking, what is your dream vacation? So I saw this one before I filmed. I saw all of them before I filmed, but I gave this one a little bit of thought. My dream vacation would be going to Switzerland. There was actually like a minute that Justin and I thought we could possibly be doing some time over there for his job, which would be awesome. But it didn't pan out. Maybe it'll happen down the line. Anyway, we were gonna go to Geneva, which would be so sweet. So I started looking up like what's it like to live in Geneva. It's so cool. Anyway, I'd love to go to Switzerland. I would love to ski. Although I've met a dude that skied in Switzerland, and he says the skiing in Utah, snow skiing is what I'm talking about, is a million times better than Switzerland, which blew my mind. And so now I need to go and find out. I'm sure that will never happen unless we live in Switzerland, but skiing in Switzerland would be my dream vacation, and that would probably be one of Justin's dream vacations as well. So that would be an easy sell if we ever stumbled into a couple extra $100,000 to afford all that, because I'm sure skiing in Switzerland is pricey. So that is all I got for my first Ask Kate video. I would love to hear if you enjoyed this or not. I can handle tough feedback, so if you're like, this was lame, teach me something, I'll understand. But anyway, you can comment on the blog post, or you can leave a comment on the YouTube channel and just let me know what you thought. And if you have any questions, go ahead and throw those up there too, and I'll try to jot down or remember some for the next video, which I think, unless everyone hates these, I would at the very most do these maybe once a month. It could be cool, just a little change up from the regulars. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.